Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy, the Track Kid, coming back with another 5 video. And today, as you can see by the title, we're going to be doing, what is it? Mr. Mix. This is quite an old one, but I think it's also pretty good. I'm going to Google who wrote it, but it says here that it's written by someone called Eternity Dev. So I'm going to assume that's who wrote it, but I'm going to look more in depth into this at the end. So yeah, let's just go right into it. Ding. Does anyone remember an old PC game from the early 90s called Mr. Mix? It's mainly a typing game, similar to Mario Teaches Typing, where you have to type words into a box to make a chef, the titular Mr. Mix, put ingredients into a bowl. Unlike most typing games, however, this game is notorious for having an insane difficulty curve. The game has a words per minute requirement for each level, being as low as 10 on level 1 and as high as 85 on the third. By level 5 the requirement reaches over 500, effectively making it impossible to proceed any further. One of the main things people noticed about this game immediately was the background music. The music on the first level was an unsettling pattern of growls that got progressively louder as the level went on, often causing damages to early computer speakers that were not designed to handle extremely high volumes of sound. The second level had no music at all, and the third level would sound like extremely low quality recording of a hairdryer playing in the background. The remaining two levels had an extremely loud, high-pitched ringing throughout the level that caused severe eardrum damage to those who managed to get that far. Another rather disturbing aspect of the game was the design of Mr. Mix himself. He was a large, round-faced, overweight man with large, beady eyes and red spots on his cheeks. Is that... That counts like me. Most children who played the game reported having vivid nightmares of Mr. Mix speaking to them in a quiet, raspy voice, and threatening them to keep quiet about something. However, none of them could remember what exactly that was. One psychiatrist who saw many of these children reported having been disturbed by the sheer amount of terror on the faces of the children as they recounted the details of their nightmare. Many children broke down into tears in the process, begging for their parents to save them. However, no direct relationship to the game itself could be determined by these few cases, as not all children suffer from the same adverse effects. For obvious reasons, this game did not sell very well. It remained relatively obscure until a few years ago, when PC hackers got a hold of a ROM of the game and started digging through it. Using memory hacking software, they managed to crack the game's code and bypass the impossible 5th level. What they found, however, was extremely disturbing, caused many of them to quit the expedition altogether. According to the reports these hackers left behind, the game behaves very strangely if the 5th level is bypassed. The game crashes violently and closes down, writing a bunch of files to the user's System32 directory to the point that the RAM was almost completely filled. These files are also reportedly pictures of people with horribly deformed faces appearing to scream in pain and agony, with their eyes appearing to be bleeding from their tear ducts and the outer layer of tin skin torn clean off their face in multiple places. If the user attempts to delete these files, the computer will also violently crash and blue screen, causing permanent, irreparable damage to the user's hard drive. The hackers found that this was caused by a lone byte in the game's ROM that was triggered when the 5th level was completed. After removing this byte, they were able to proceed to the 6th and final level. Unfortunately, all of the original hackers declined to discuss what they saw in the final level. All of them became extremely paranoid and reclusive, refusing to talk to anyone about relating to the game and showing astonishingly extreme symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. Most of them ceased to be able to form coherent sentences within a week, and within a month all of them went missing. All the remaining copies of the game were destroyed. To this day, no one knows what happened to what was in that game that caused them so much psychological psychosocial. That's not funny. Maybe it's better that way. 2 years after this incident, a man was arrested for trying to kidnap an 8-year-old girl from a grocery store. Through DNA and fingerprint analysis, the man was identified as one of the original hackers who viewed the final level of the game. He was wearing a white chef's hat and had a look of unspeakable malice on his face. When interrogated, the man will only say one thing. I'm Mr. Mix. Shh. Bruh. I don't know how to feel about that, honestly. That one was pretty poo-poo. Honestly, if it was longer, genuinely, right? If it was longer, that would have been better. Genuinely, that would have been so much better if it was just longer. And there's barely any like stuff here other than what this image. But even so, shout out to Jeff Kingler for making that, because I would not have been able to make something like that. So yeah, if that was longer, that genuinely would have been so much better. Because I was actually quite interested if they delved into like what happened to the hackers more, or what went on in the yeah, if they went into more about what happened to the hackers and the bloody yeah, and the bloody what there were more in the game and how hidden it was, and like if it deleted itself, like, yeah, that would have been way better. I was originally going to do like bloody what was it, misfortune.gb, but that I couldn't find the set story for that, unfortunately. So I had to do with Mr. Mix instead. I'm under the impression that maybe is this part of an RPG? Huh. I believe this was made by Eternity Dev. But I will look into this more. I'm gonna see in the comments if anyone says who wrote it. If this is like a situation where it was wrote by an anonymous, then I'm gonna be a bit annoyed. Because I like crediting who I read stuff by. Because obviously I have, zero talent when it comes to this shit. But, oh well. I just like knowing who writes stuff. And also, it gets me out of copyright issues. But yeah. Also, just for specification, I only read stories that mark CC by SA, which I believe means they're public domain. It's been a while since I've read it. But oh well. Yeah. Most of them cease to form coherent sentences within a week. Proceeds to miss the entire point of the game. Oh, bruh. Oh well, that was fun. I'm gonna find out who this is. Bro, he looks like a Simpson. Bro. Oh, you looking like a Simpson. So yeah, I'm under the impression that this is part of an ARG, but an ARG titled something like bloody Advanced Education with Victor Strobovsky. I'm gonna assume that's who made the pasta, even though it probably isn't. I'm still gonna look. I'm sorry. Wait. Advanced Education with Victor Strobovsky. Didn't Corey Kenshin play this? Yeah. What's Mr. Mix got to do with this? I'm gonna keep looking. You're right, Mr. Mix. Who wrote it? There we go. Christmas pasta. You'll find out. Yeah, I'm gonna find out who wrote this. I'm sorry. I'll cut back in a moment. Alright, annoyingly, I genuinely can't find it anywhere. It doesn't say who wrote it. And that's annoying as well, because on the bloody creepypasta wiki, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Which is really frustrating. Oh well, I'll give credit to bloody. The only name I can find there would be Eternity Dev. So yeah, I'll do that. Okay, bye bye.